Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. I love you all. My name is miahtheking, and want to hear another funny little tidbit? Did you know that the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn? I mean, they probably know that, but I don't think anybody else does. Anyway, thank you so much for clicking on my video, and I hope you stick around. If not for the funny jokes and tidbits at the start of each video, then perhaps because I can help you figure out if you need a game in 10 minutes or less. Don't believe me? Then stick around and find out. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called Cubic Odyssey, a Minecraft game that takes place in space, basically. Developed by Atypical Games and published by Gaijin Network Ltd, released not in early access and selling for $25. So what even is this game anyway? Well, it's exactly like I said, more or less. It's Minecraft, but in space. Now, there are a few differences, like you don't have to eat, and you don't have to eat, and oh, you can go into outer space. But as far as I can tell, those are the only real big differences overall. Now, there is more, a little bit, kind of, and we'll go into that later, but yeah, if you come into this just thinking, what would it be like to play Minecraft but in space, then you'll have an easier time of understanding the rest of this review. So, as always, let's go into the good and the bad, followed by my final thoughts, shall we? So, the first positive point for me that I'd like to point out is the gameplay. Now, I personally wasn't really into Minecraft, like, ever. But I understood its appeal, the freedom, the creativity, the availability, I get it. It was just never something I was really into during that time frame. But now, I might just be a bit interested. You see, I love space games, and I love space, and I love sci-fi stuff. So, my opinion on this particular topic might be a bit biased, despite my intention to stay neutral. But yeah, okay, so here's the rub. This game is like Minecraft, right? Like I've mentioned. You can deconstruct anything, build anything anywhere, but they took it a step further with lots of space traveling, a massive, massive open world, like literally universally spanning open world. I can't really talk much about the gameplay without saying just like Minecraft, so let me give you a few things that this game does that Minecraft doesn't. You get a robot companion. That's cool. He helps you fight. He helps you with advice. He can even scan for unique places, objects, and most importantly, ore. So you don't have to just dig randomly, hoping to get lucky. He will actually scan and show you where to dig to find the ore you're looking for. There's shipbuilding and customizing, which you can then take to other planets. I think there's space combat, but I haven't gotten there yet. There's a lot of different things for base defenses, like auto laser turrets and whatnot. There's different weapons and armor for you to use, but it's all space-based instead of medieval-based like in Minecraft. And then you've got other vehicles like your little floating speeder thingy. This thing is great because it helps you traverse planets faster and safer, and of course there is combat in the game. Though it is kind of hard, but not because of bad mechanics or poorly designed properties. It's just hard because it is. Your guns aren't super accurate, but neither are the enemies, and I died due to basic lack of information, preparedness, and experience, but I didn't feel cheated. I didn't feel wronged somehow. I kind of went into it and I thought to myself, it'd be cool if I could beat these guys, but if I lose, I would understand. Anyway, there's a lot of aspects to the gameplay here, and honestly, I'm really digging it. I was really enjoying myself, and let's not forget that it has online co-op, which means you can play with a buddy or two, which I love. The idea of me and my wife, or me and my brother, going on space adventures together in this wacky world with so much to do is legit interesting to me. There are negatives involving that, but I'll get to those at the end of the video, so stick around. Next up for the positives is the idea, the originality, and story. Here, they actually have a legit plot with cutscenes, and in that cutscene, it even has a voice actor, but I digress. Anyway, there's this looming threat called the Red Dark, I think it is, Red something, but basically the universe was at peace under one rule, and then this red thing appeared. You are a knight of the Queen of the Empire, and trying to find out a way to defeat this red thing and send it back to where it came from. Once you do, you have to then go to the Queen, traversing through space to get to her, and tell her so she can mount a proper offensive, I'm assuming. A pretty cool motivation for you to actually keep pushing and progressing, hoping to find a way to fight back this evil redness. In other words, it's not just a random open world with no direction, and it actually has a purpose, a plot, and a reason to keep going, motivation to keep progressing. Sound quality is the next thing I'd like to talk about. The game's sound quality is pretty damn good. Now, they could have had more voice actors, I think, like maybe giving the robot a voice actor or something, but still, at least they had that one guy in the cutscene, and he did a pretty okay good job. As for the sound effects and music, well, the music is pretty perfect, though it does have a flaw of obviously repeating itself, which can get a bit annoying at times. And then you've got the weird changes. You could just be chilling in your home when suddenly combat-sounding music starts to play. It's like, are you under attack or something? No, just the music changed for some reason. The sound effects, however, sound great, perfectly sci-fi and yet perfectly quirky and unique at the same time. Nothing too crazy or cringe or badly designed here. Not a lot of ambiance, I'm afraid, but if you're on an abandoned planet, I wouldn't really expect a whole lot of that anyway. But from what I could actually hear, the sound effects were great. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the price tag, and I think it's better than perfectly priced. This truly is the deal. Like, I mean, it's got online co-op with a massive open world to explore, shitloads of content to explore, dozens upon dozens of hours to play before reaching any kind of real progress with story, meaning length of time is great as well. There's even some replayability in terms of different directions you may wish to take on your next playthrough. All for 25 bucks. That's insane, but in a phenomenal way. Like, I cannot believe it's this cheap. Next up would be the stability. Now, I had the unfortunate displeasure of being unable to play with either of my play buddies. Both were preoccupied, so I played alone and couldn't test the online syncing or disconnecting possibilities or other issues that there might be with co-op. However, I personally never encountered any clipping, freezing, frame rate dropping, or crashing of any kind. The game ran super smooth and overall was perfect in terms of its stability. And while we're on this topic, let's bring up the user interface and the tutorial as well, just because I want it. The tutorial was pretty good, actually, taking you through the steps of building this and that and how and why without being too wordy or in your face, while at the same time not being overly complicated, and they have the option of being turned off. Then you've got the UI, which to me felt cohesive, understandable, without being crazy, complicated, or having too much information or lack of direction. In other words, the UI, the user interface, looked good and felt good while playing, and that's a good thing to really help your players feel more comfortable while they're playing. Let's talk mechanics while we're at it, because the controls and the overall gaming mechanics also all felt pretty cohesive and matched. There were a few quirks, but once you kind of figured out how the game wanted something done, it was pretty easy everywhere else to figure out how they expected you to do something. Now that's what we call cohesiveness. If it works here, it should work there, and that's present in this game. And I think that's it. So that's all the positives I could come up with. Now I got to go into the negatives, but before that, consider supporting my channel. I'm trying really hard to get to 5,000 subs, and I'm getting really close, so I'd really appreciate you joining my Royal Guard. Also, I started this channel to try to help the gaming community, but I can't help you, the consumer, unless I get to you first. So hit that notification button right down there below the video to be informed whenever I post new content. In other words, help me to help you. All right? All right. Okay, so now we got to go into the negatives. And, the graphics aren't realistic. The game takes too long. I mean, yeah, I can't really think of anything, honestly. I mean, I'm legit sitting here scratching my head and wondering, trying desperately to pick up on something negative or something that it could at least use some improvements. That way I could have a more balanced review, but I can't really find anything. Oh, okay, I found some things, but it was from other people online what they were saying about something I didn't get to experience, the co-op. So, I found a negative, I got you. So apparently the co-op is a bit busted right now. Not that it doesn't work, right, but that it's running into really stupid issues, like no shared progression between players. Now that's some bullshit, needs to be fixed immediately. And issues with the other player being not being able to use the scan function of the droid. That's not okay. And there's no security for your lobby, like there's no passwords. So anyone could join your lobby at any random time. So if I just wanted to play with my wife, we would be at risk of other players joining us randomly and screwing up everything we're doing. Again, not freaking cool, needs to be fixed immediately. So there are a few issues, but they all seem to typically be in mind with co-op, if you're thinking about, you know, that's the reason why you want to play. So yeah, keep those in mind if you want to play this with friends, because yeah, if that's the case, maybe you should wait. Now, of course, this is all hearsay. I unfortunately didn't get to experience this myself, but I have no reason to doubt people when the game is so phenomenal in every other way. So yeah, for co-op, it's a big issue. Apparently, that's the #1 negative with the game, and it needs to be fixed. But on to my final thoughts. Well, I only played it single player, and in that regard, the game is freaking fantastic. Almost perfect. But with the issues with co-op, which would be the only way I'd really want to invest some actual time into this, it makes it hard for me to want to invest in the game. So what's my final recommendation? Well, if you don't mind playing it alone, then freaking have at it. It's tons of fun, and I could even go so far as to say that one day it might even knock Minecraft off its pedestal. So it's a steal, man. It's a good game. It's a phenomenal game at an affordable price. Don't miss out on it, right? But on the other hand, if you only play these kinds of games with friends, like I do, then you might actually want to wait a little while to see if they fix those co-op issues. But overall, I think this game is great. It's phenomenal. I cannot praise it more. It has its issues with co-op, sure, but looking at it on a base level single player right now, it's just amazing. But the initial final decision is going to rest with you. But that's all the time I got for today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, with a special thanks to those of you who stuck around to the end. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.